Hello, this is James, and this is the Darklord Review. Take 2. Darklords are completely new to Duel Links. That makes them very frightening. That also makes them very exciting. In this video, I will talk about the Darklord cards. I will talk about actually 3 possible decks that the chat and I brainstormed. We're going to talk about possible skills. We're going to talk about possible side decks. We're going to show a little bit of solo mode, combo, gameplay. It's going to be a good time. This first deck is the conservative version of Darklord. So we're using Darklord Desire. You tribute summon this card by tributing 1 fairy. Cannot be special summoned. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls card, lose exactly 1,000 attack, and if it does, send that Shien to the graveyard. No Fuma, no shuffling it off onto another 6 Samurai, just going straight to the graveyard. We have Darklord Ixchel. This is a hard once per turn. Discard this card and 1 Darklord card. Draw 2, and it has the Darklord Quick Effect, what I'm going to call the Darklord Quick Effect. You can pay 1,000 LP, target 1 Darklord spell trap in your GY, apply that target's effect, and shuffle that target into the deck. You can only use each effect of Darklord Ixchel once per turn. You can only special summon Darklord Ixchel once per turn. And then Darklord Nasten, discard 2 other Darklord cards, special summon this card from your hand, and then it has the Darklord Quick Effect. You can only use this effect of Nasten once per turn. Superbia, when this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target 1 fairy type monster in your graveyard except Darklord Superbia, special summon that target. Tezcatlipoca, he has the Darklord Quick Effect, but he's also just like a cheap hand trap, like a cheap Karibo, and also a Darklord name. If a Darklord would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can discard him instead. And then Ukoback, this card is normal or special. You can send 1 Darklord card from your deck to your graveyard. So basically, what you want to do is you want to open Ixchel, you want to open Nasten, you want to draw into Superbia. If for some reason you don't get either of those, or you just want to stall out your turn 1, you can normal summon Ukoback, dump a contact, and then go, prepare for the next turn. And then Darklord Contact, special summon 1 Darklord monster from your GY in defense position. You can only activate 1 Darklord Contact per turn, and that's just the card. So if you have 2 Darklord Contacts in the graveyard, you can activate Nasten Quick Effect, you can activate Ixchel Quick Effect, and you can get 2 special summons somehow with 3 monster zones. And then the final Darklord card that we're using in this deck, Sanctified Darklord. Send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up on your field to the graveyard. Negate the effects of 1 effect monster on the field until the end of the turn, and if you do, gain LP equal to its attack. You can only activate 1 Sanctified Darklord per turn. You can send Sanctified Darklord, activate Nasten Quick Effect, and then your Shien can't negate your Darklord contacts from the hand. Before we begin with anything else, there are important limitations to the Darklords archetype. First, I remind you, Darklord Ixchel is a hard once per turn. You can't get that sweet draw 2 waifu twice in 1 turn. All right, I made that mistake live on stream. Second, you can't get cute with your Darklord Nasten Superbia with contact. So a combo that I proposed was Nasten. You can discard Superbia, you can discard Darklord Contact, and then basically get Nasten for free, because then you can use Nasten's Quick Effect, activate Contact, shuffle Contact back into the deck, and then special summon Superbia, and then Superbia special summon Ixchel. That does not work, alright? That is Batsu, because when Darklord Contact is shuffled back into the deck, that causes Superbia to miss timing. So you get the Superbia, but you don't get Superbia's special summon. So keep that in mind. And then third, Darklord Contact special summons the monster in defensive posture, okay? Defensive position. Those 3 reasons together are why you can't simply have this version of Darklords as like a pay-to-win hazy, right? You just spam out Ixchel, Nasten, Superbia, attack, 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 and even if one of them dies, you can use the quick effect and then replace the monster. Pay to win hazy doesn't work in this version of Darklords. This is much more conservative. This is Ixchel, you get to draw 2. You special Nasten, and then Nasten can shuffle contact special, another Darklord. And since that's all special, you can tribute for Jinzo, prepare your field. Okay, here we are with the deck you just saw with the ideal opening hand. We have Ixchel. We're going to send Ixchel. So during turn 1, we send Ixchel to the graveyard, and we send Superbia to the graveyard, and we're going to get our draw 2. Okay, so, and we draw our Jinzo. Perfect. Let's go ahead and special summon our Nasten. And we're going to discard Contact. And then discard our other Darklord Ixchel. Very nice. And then let's activate Nasten's effect. And we're going to shuffle Contact back into the deck. We pay 1,000 life points. And then let's get Superbia. Now, again, we keep the limitations in mind. The Darklord comes out, is in defensive position. And Superbia, when you activate... Now, it could have been an Ixchel. That's fine. But just for illustration purposes, summoning Superbia off of a shuffled Contact, that ends the chain link. But we can do this. We can tribute summon the Jinzo in the attacking position, by tributing the Superbia. Ooh, that's kind of fun. So that's a really strong board. And now Dual Wield is negated, and you can do beatdown, and you can attack for game. Okay, what a rush! Some good side decks for Darklords are Dark Creator. Special summon when you have 5 or more Darks in your graveyard, so you run him as 1 once per turn. You can banish a Dark in your graveyard, target 1 Dark monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Sphere Karibo for, stalling out, for protecting your hand. Another stall, like kind of similar to Ukoback. Ukoback just kind of, if you don't have anything else, you play Ukoback. Similar to that, you have Dwarfstar, Dragon Planeter. And then during the end phase, you can search Nasten into your hand. So that's actually maybe kind of good. If you, maybe as a free-to-play Ixchel, Dwarfstar, Dragon Planeter. Duke Shade, the Sinister Shadow Lord. I wouldn't worry about his first effect for Darklords too much. But you can normal summon him, and you can recycle your Darklords. And then, of course, Dark World Dealings, draw power. Into the Void, draw power. Veil of Darkness, draw power. And Dark Mambele, very niche card. But, if you're going to run it in anything, you run it in Dark World. Control 3 or more Darks, target 1 face-up card on the field, banish that target. But I think that, even in the TCG Dark Worlds, they mostly just, pound the opponent into submission with their high attack point values. Okay, the other Darklords that I didn't include in this deck are Darklord Morningstar. Cannot be special summoned if this card is Tribute Shokan. You can special summon Darklord monsters from your hand or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Darklord monsters on the field. And if you do, gain 500 LP for each Darklord card sent to the graveyard by this effect. So I think that this is actually a good Darklord. He just doesn't quite fit into the more conservative Darklords, with Jinzo. And then these other Darklords are just kind of filler if you don't have, your Ixchels and your Superbias. So Darklord Amdusk, if you can discard this card and 1 Darklord, and target 1 Darklord card in your graveyard, add it to your hand during either player's turn. You can pay 1,000 LP and target 1 Darklord spell trap card in your graveyard. Apply that target's effect, so it has the Darklord quick effect. Darklord Ede Array, which is the worst one. If it's a special summon from the graveyard, it does pierce. And then Darklord Marie, which is interesting, but probably will be used just the same amount as Ede Array. Once per turn during your standby phase, you gain 200 LP. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. So Darklord Marie Arrow Mages. Possible. Darklord Descent, pay half your LP, special summon up to 2 Darklord monsters from your graveyard in defense position with the same level as 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. So, now, some good possible skills for Darklords. Obviously, Beatdown works. Fairy Smile is good because they're all fairies. You keep drawing fairies, you gain a bunch of life points. Every fairy you draw is another Darklord quick effect that you can activate. Heavy Starter. You have a good chance of starting off, with your at least one of Superbia, Nasten, and Ixchel. And then Baggy Sleeves, when your high-level monsters get destroyed, next turn you get a draw 2. That's all well and good, but I want my Dark Attribute Hazy Beatdown. And for that deck, we are going to be using Darklord Morningstar. In this version of the deck, we're focusing on Darklord Morningstar. When this is Tribute Summoned, you can special summon Darklord monsters from your hand or deck. So important to note, you can't get the effect of Darklord Superbia because he has to be special summoned from the graveyard. There's no question of missing timing or whatever. It's just a completely different effect. But he does work. You can special summon with Darklord Contact and then special summon another Darklord and have 2 tributes ready for Darklord Morningstar. You use the Kribos to kind of stall a little bit. Your opponent gets 2 effect monsters on the field. You drop the Hate Grenade, and that is their death knell. Either Ixchel, discard Superbia, and then bring Superbia back with contact, get Ixchel and Superbia tributes for Morningstar, or Nasten, discard Ixchel, Superbia, and then Nasten is special summon. Darklord contact activated either from the graveyard or from the hand. Special summon another Darklord, and that tributes for Darklord Morningstar, and you can quench your hazy thirst. Yup, this is Grass Darklords. In this version of the deck, we will be using not Beatdown, not Berry Smile, but Balance. So we're using 3 Amdusk, 2 Desire, 3 Ixchel, 1 Morningstar, 3 Nasten, 3 Superbia, and 3 Ukoback. So with balance, you'll get 1 monster, 1 spell, and 1 trap. These traps are just Darklord traps. Don't worry about them too much. But if your spell that you get is Graphic Screener, okay, great. You can immediately dump a bunch of Darklords and then start making plays. If your spell that you get is Darklord Contact, well, you need a Darklord that puts more Darklords in the graveyard for you. And you're in luck because there's tons. So if you have Darklord Contact, you could get Nasten, you could get Ixchel, you could get Ukoback, or you could get Darklord Amdusk that are gonna put Darklords in the graveyard and let you start, you know, making the memes from there. Is this the best way to play Dark Worlds? That remains to be seen. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.